Hi, how are you enjoying these eclipse energies? I've spent all morning crying, so I didn't actually think I was going to make this video, but I keep getting a very strong push because I believe it's not only relevant to me right now, but it's going to be relevant to at least some of you. If you don't find yourself resonating, as always, please don't worry about it. I'm just sharing what I'm feeling and what I'm receiving. So yeah, I'm supposed to talk about, and I don't even know how I'm going to do this, to be honest. I hope the words come. A time in our cosmic, I guess you would consider past, but as we know, conceptually, past, present, future doesn't really exist, and I still struggle mentally with this concept. It's a group of beings before they went through the evolution of consciousness that humans are about to go through, or working, in the process of, I should say. This particular group of beings started out with very spiritual origins, and they had a very strong connection to their own spirituality, their own intuition, and that inner sense of being. Somehow this got disconnected, and this group of beings began to believe that the only way to get back to the integrated state that they were looking for was to master the mind, so to speak, and I guess mind over matter, and really develop the mental body. They not only began to believe that that was the most important priority, but they began to believe that emotions and the emotional body, intuition, all of those things that flowed through us, through them, was the cause of all their problems as a species. And so they began to play around genetically to disconnect basically the emotional body. And as a result, this didn't go the way they thought and evolve them. It actually put not only their species, I guess, but their whole planet into almost extinction. By disconnecting the emotional body, their physical bodies began to get very toxic and diseased, and so did their planet, to the point it was uninhabitable on the surface. I guess you can think of it that when you disconnect the emotions and the intuitive side of you, you're disconnecting the love, and the love can't flow. And without that, they and their planet started to die. I believe humans stepped in and offered to help, and this was done through DNA exchange, things like that. And then once their planet and their species began to heal, and the toxicity began to leave the bodies as the generations grew, they were able to overcome sterility and bear children again. But the problem was they'd been so disconnected from how to feel that they did not know how to nurture these children. So again, looked to humanity as their guide, because, exceptions to the rule all over the place, but generally we were a good example of how to nurture our young and care for them and love them and all of that. So there is a very strong connection between the consciousness of this group of beings and humans. And what I'm being shown is, if you're resonating with this message, maybe not this bit yet, but as I get into it, it's because you, like myself, have a connection of a lifetime where we as humans assisted, but also a connection where another aspect of us incarnated as one of these beings, and so that's still an aspect of you. And so I guess this aspect of you that has gone through the evolution of consciousness and the expansion that this group has been through as a result of those experiences, is now this aspect of you is reaching out to reciprocate and offer their support now while you're in this body. And so I feel like a lot of people are going to start having more contact experiences on a subtle level, if this is what you wish to happen. It will be very subtle. So dreams, meditation, inner connections first and foremost. But the reason this is coming up as important is because of these experiences and aspects of us assisting from the human side, and also another aspect being on the, I guess, receiving and more evolved side. This is all coming up as part of the reason that many of us have chosen or agreed to, and again, gonna have a big talk with my soul about a lot of these agreements, to be, I guess, what you could essentially call processors, emotional processors. And what this means is that you've signed up to consciously or unconsciously process the energies that we experience as emotions that others cannot. This is not to say that because they can't, they get off scot-free and don't have to feel anything. These are the people that still feel some sort of animosity towards their own emotions and judge them. They don't want to feel bad, so they cut off and suppress their emotions. You can't just cut off feeling bad and just feel good. I mean, we would all love that, wouldn't we? But do you know what I mean? So if you're going to cut off feeling bad, you basically are cutting yourself off from your emotions, and putting that wall up and suppressing them. That will only work for a certain amount of time, especially as things intensify energetically, because these energies really are pushing to the surface all that is creating dissonance within the body. That means if they're not given controlled expression, they're going to come out uncontrollably, and usually at the worst possible time. So trust me on that. So the people that can't feel that these really deep, painful energies, I mean, the energies themselves aren't. They're just very dense. They're dense, the densest of the dense when it comes to energies. Not everyone is capable of processing them, because it has to be done through the body, because it needs to be felt. So yeah, you will probably experience extreme depths of emotions, generally not the most positive ones. And honestly, the people around you sometimes look at you like, what's wrong with you? You feel like, what's wrong with me? Nothing in my life, as far as I can tell, should be causing me to feel this amount of pain. Is there something wrong with me mentally? You know, all of these things come up. Truthfully, I don't believe it's any of, I mean, look, I'm not saying none of that's an influence. But what I'm being shown is the energies that we've agreed to process are so dense that they are too much for some people to process. It would overwhelm them to the point where I think feel like they wouldn't be able to continue to carry the load, if you know what I mean. So if you've signed up to be a processor, you will feel things that you can't explain. And the thing is, if Gaia could release all this density and it could just dissipate into the atmosphere and then be transmuted somewhere out there, you know, it would be a piece of cake, wouldn't it? But the only way to transmute energy really is to see it consciously. It's seeking release And the only way it can be released, it's like and this is not how it happens. I'm just using this as, a bit of a metaphor or an analogy, and I don't know what the word is, but you imagine the energy like a little child almost running up to you, tugging on your skirt. Feel me, I need to be felt, I need to be seen, I need to be acknowledged. Then I'll be fine. Then I'll, then I can be on my way and return home. But it's like, it has to be acknowledged in some way, and not everybody can do that. And so the only thing I can suggest, because it does take you by surprise, if you're not present with yourself and able to catch it quickly, you can go into this tailspin and think, what's going on? And, we can blame it on the energies and everything else and all of that. But what it really is it's I guess, being called into service. Okay, here's something pretty dense coming up. It's run up to everybody, looking for somebody to pick it up and feel it, see it and love it and let it go. Hasn't found anyone that's come to you. So you have a choice. You can either push it away for fear of the pain that it's about to cause you, to hold this energy and feel its pain and love it and let it go. Or that's exactly what you can do. You can feel it because it needs to be felt, and then just know that all you can do is give it your love and help it on its way home. So I hope that makes sense. I can't even think of what I've said now. But basically, if you relate to being an emotional processor, give yourself space to process, and then to go through the recovery process after the processing, because it will take a toll on the physical body, even if you do it as least resistance as possible, because you know what it's like, your body reacts to this energy in very visceral ways sometimes. And so then it needs time to, after it's let it go, to just be gentle with yourself in whatever way you feel you need to be, in whatever way you can be given your circumstances. And if you do wish to tap into that support, this support's coming in for everyone. It's not just for those that have this connection. It's there for everyone to tap into if they want to. But if you feel that this is you and that you've signed up for this and you have this connection and you would like additional support, just put the intention out there when you're in that heart space and ask for the connection to come when the energies are at the right match. So, you can't just sit there in a really low state and say, guides, come connect with me now, I need you. It doesn't really work like that. You have to be at a certain frequency range to what on whom you're trying to connect with, which versions, aspects of yourself that you might be trying to reach. Whatever their vibrational range, you have a vibrational range, and if it's too far away, the connection won't occur. I mean, it's got to get to a point where they will drop to a certain point, you will raise to a certain point, and that overlay will occur. So when you're in those really sort of low vibrational states and you think, come and connect with me, it's not that simple. It's not that you're being abandoned and that they're not there. You're not there for yourself. It's that it's all about frequencies. It's all about the vibrational match. It's just the way it works. It's not a punishment. It's, I guess, incentive maybe to know that that's what you have to do. Because often when we're stuck in that lower state, we know what we can, I know I can go and have a shower and that will probably lift me quite a bit, but I don't. I make an excuse not to. I don't know. You sort of get, it's like a stickiness or a quicksand that you just think, nah, just sit here. I don't know. So yeah, I feel like if you're a processor, these are going to be pretty intense times. The eclipse energies are particularly strong, obviously, in the days leading up to and after, but the energies generally last at least 6 months until the next solar eclipse. And then so they will gradually diminish, but they are very intense, at least for a while. So there may be a lot for you to process. Some awareness, I guess, is the key, and that can be hard, but to be as aware of your own energy in every moment that you can be, so that you can quickly determine when it's shifted, and you know that you need to act now before it goes into this downward spiral. Because if you don't jump on it when you first recognize it, it will downward spiral. At least for me anyway. So I think I did also want to talk about spiritual protection, but I think I'll do that in another video, hopefully over the weekend. So on a lighter note, the new hoodies have come in, and honestly, these are so warm and snug, and I'm not just saying that. I do not want to take it off. Highly comfortable. So if you're in the southern hemisphere and we're coming into winter, check out the range. They're in the online store now. So yeah, anyway, I would really love to know if any of you resonate with being an emotional processor. These terms, honestly, I don't know where they come from. But anyway, yeah, the other thing that came with this is this will be something you're doing either consciously or unconsciously. And you may never even know that you've impacted someone else's energy in this positive way. You will probably have people regularly telling you that they feel better just being in your company, that they feel much better after talking with you. It's this subtle thing that happens, and it will happen even if you're not making a conscious connection with someone. You could sit down next to someone at a bus stop so you can, have a sip of your water and rest for a minute, not even make eye contact with them or connect with them in any way, get up, continue walking, but you've shifted their energy, and they may have been in a state where what they were feeling was overwhelming them to the point where they didn't know if they could carry it, yet suddenly, inexplicably, they suddenly feel lighter, and like maybe they do have the strength and they can turn their situation around, whatever that may be. So you may never know just how much of a difference you're making simply by where you are and what you're doing at any given time, and how your energy is affecting the energies around you. And you may find this inexplicable depth of emotions suddenly overwhelming you and unsure where they've came from. You've just been called into processing work. Your shift's just started, I suppose. And it's, I guess, a variable shift. You don't know how long it's going to last. So please just be aware and be really gentle with yourself. It's hard enough to feel everything that you're going to be feeling without throwing your own judgment and accusation and condemnation on yourself for not handling things very well. You've signed up for something pretty monumental when you think about it. Human emotions are hard enough to navigate under most circumstances, let alone then agreeing to to navigate the ones that others just can't, so and again, it's these energies and density being released from the planet that's going to be affecting everybody, not just the incoming, but the releasing energies as well. So there may actually be no reason for you to feel the way you do, because this isn't something that's happened in this lifetime, even this generation, even this millennium. You're releasing something that happened so long ago that there will be no rhyme or reason. So just pick it up. Think of it as you're picking up a feral cat or something that's just attacking the crap out of you because it's wild. It doesn't know whether you're trying to help it. It will hurt, but you can let it go. And know that, not just you are going to feel lighter at the end of that processing. In a way, the whole planet will feel that little bit lighter because you've taken that on, you've processed it, and you've helped it return to what it was. I hope all that makes sense. I'm going to go before I keep rambling. Thinking of you all and looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Take care and sending you biggest heart hugs. Bye.